So yeah, in your book you talk about Sharp and Ritson's theories and how they're examples of ways that make advertising endlessly fascinating. What is your most fascinating contradiction in the advertising industry, and why?
My most fascinating contradiction in the advertising industry as we practice advertising, you mean?
Yeah.
That's a really tough question. There are so many contradictions. I guess the most fascinating one is the contradiction between whether we think people behave rationally or emotionally, okay? And I think you can make a very good case for both sides. You can make a very good case that people don't buy, that people are rational. They don't buy crap that they don't need. They don't waste their money on stupid stuff. And you can do example after example of that. And then you can make an equally good case that people behave crazily, that they'll save money on buying a tube of toothpaste and then spend extravagantly on a car that is no different, basically, from another car that costs $20,000 less, but has prestige attached to it. So the contradiction between the emotional behavior of consumers and the rational behavior of consumers is hard to reconcile. And that's, I think I wrote in the book, what I call quantum advertising. And that is sometimes we behave X, sometimes we behave Y. And just like in quantum physics, a particle can sometimes be a wave, be defined as a wave, and sometimes as a particle. Human beings sometimes behave rationally and sometimes behave emotionally, and it's a contradiction in behavior, but that's the reality. Sometimes consumers are rational, sometimes they are emotional, and it's hard to know when. And it's hard to know how they're going to behave. And sometimes the same person purchasing in the same category will behave emotionally, and sometimes will behave rationally. And that, I guess, is, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest contradiction and the hardest one to understand, and the one that I think the marketing industry understands least.